this video, I will be showing how to create, test, release and distribute custom forms within an organization using Fabasoft Folio. I start on my desktop and enter the team room forms. I create a new form and name it expense. With this form, we simply want to register expenses. My first field is the date. I select the type date and add a label and a field name. The second field should contain the invoice amount. I drag a text field into my form, add a label, field name, and select the type currency. My form is now finished, so I confirm with next and return to the team room. Here, I can immediately create my first expense. Under the category Forms Draft, I select the draft of my form and open the new invoice. In the metadata, I can already enter values and see the further generic tabs that contain general information. I'm not yet completely happy with the form, so I switch back to the form editor. I create a new field with multi-line text and call the field Description. I create a new checkbox, Done, and a radio button that I name Applies To, which contains the options Home, Garden and Car. I could also use a drop-down list for this, but I opt for the radio button here and delete the drop-down element. I'm not yet happy with the order of the fields. I want to use a new page for the description, so I add a page break description. I correct the order of the elements in the editor. The fields can be moved simply by drag and drop. I confirm the page with next and take a look at the up-to-date draft. First page, second page, OK, I'm happy, and release my draft with publish form. The form can now be used productively. In the Create dialog, I now have the new category Forms with my new form Expense. I create a new expense and fill out the values and then duplicate it to create a second object with the same values. I now use the full functionality of Fabasoft Folio. I start with the columns and blend in the column category via the column wizard. Here I can see that the object has the category Expense that I created with my form. Via the column menu, I blend in the column Amount and edit the value directly in the column. The new category can also be used for documents. I have an invoice from January on my desktop that I now import into the browser with drag and drop. I open the document, an invoice from 13th of January for €87. If I now set the category of the document to Expense and open the document's metadata with the menu point properties, I can save these values and then see them in the list display. Furthermore, I can edit the metadata for all objects with the same category collectively with the menu point Edit Common Properties. Similarly, I can also show differing properties of multiple objects with the same category. If I start a search with the new form, the fields can be used directly as filters. Without additional conditions, I find all objects with this category. Here is my imported PDF document next to the previously saved invoice objects. So this is how it works within the team room. In order to be able to use the form outside of the team room, I release the form for usage. In the dialog, I can select who the form should be available to. Access rights to the form can be withdrawn or granted at any time via the Release for Usage dialog. A system administrator, who has more rights in the management of the organization but only read access in the team room, for example, can also release the form for further groups. And with that, we have now seen how easily we can create, test, and release a new form for an organization.